Hello, everybody. Just spent the last half an hour just getting set up and planning what we're going to be doing. And say hello if you can hear us. Big wave to you. Hi, everybody. So good to see you. So I'm going to show you a new flower and a new brushstroke tonight. I'm also going to show you how to build some compositions and a couple of little things that I use that make it easier for us to do. And then we'll think of what else we can do as well. So a big warm welcome if it's the first time that you've ever joined one of these free classes that I try and do every single month. If you have missed them in the past, we've got a YouTube channel and you can go back there and catch up. So there's a couple of things I wanted to do because I'm being asked for a little bit of help by some of you. So I'm just going to go over this brush loading again. I know it's tedious, but even I practice it because it does make such a difference. So I'm going to bring this palette. Oops, just had an emergency nail accident. Oh dear, might have to go to casualty. Oh dear. Oops, never mind. That'll end up on social media somewhere. Right, just, oh look, I've got two missing. One on each hand as a full pair. Oh, right, no, and Andrew, don't zoom in on my fingers, just be me. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm not talking to myself. Andrew, I've got this earpiece in, and Andrew is actually in the building above me, and he is up there talking in my ear. So he's the little voice sitting on my shoulder. And so if I say anything inappropriate, honestly, it isn't me trying to get attention on social, it's him, okay? Right, I'm just going to go through this. So first of all, I've got a palette and it's a piece of card and it's got an old a cello bag on it. This paint that I've got here, which is actually my taffy, it's been in my drawer for a while and I haven't used it for a little while. And you can see it's got this clear liquid with it where it isn't all blended. That's because I didn't shake the bottle. So I'm just literally, if that happens, don't dip your brush into it until you've actually mixed it. And then the other colour that it's happened with is this Sedona, which I've got here, or sorry, it's Camelot, I think, this colour. So I'm just literally going to mix that one as well. So that solved that problem. Now that clear liquid that you could see is actually blending gel. It's the same medium as the blending gel because it's used to actually float the pigment in. So that just gives you an idea of just how thick that blending gel is. And because it's a heavy-bodied medium, it holds the pigment in suspension. So that's what's happening. Right, I've got a number of different whites or light shades here. This one is white. This one is champagne. This one is taffy. And the other one is horizon grey. So that's the horizon grey. This one's the taffy. So there's 4 very soft light colours there. Now, we're just going to go over the brush loading first, and then you'll see why I'm going to use these 3 shades together. So I'm going to start off, I'm just going to pick some of the plum, so it's quite dark, and some of the white, and I've got those 2 colours on my brush. You're going to come onto your palette, and you're going to go about, what's that, 1, 2, no more than 3 centimetres. So 3 times the width of the brush, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to go back the other way again. The length is 3 times the width of the brush. Now your paint should end up lovely and smooth across your paintbrush. If it isn't, you're going to pick up more paint and you're going to stroke that brush down again. And what we're doing is we're pulling the paint through the bristles. So I'm just very slowly, and let me change the angle. And we'll do this, I'm going to do this really slowly, like that, there, and then like that, there, and there. Getting those paints so they're beautifully blended. Then picking up a little bit more and just literally stroking that paint. If I go much longer, you're going to be painting the palette, not leaving any paint on the brush. Right, I want to show you this new stroke that we're going to do. And then I'm going to share with you some other ideas of things that we can do. So first of all, you all recognise this one. I hope you do, and I hope it's one that you've been practicing and you've got that lovely scallopy shape. So I'm just going to go back in and let me bring, if I put this palette there, that should enable you to see as I'm loading. Then I'm going to do another one just there and one more here. Okay, so I've got 3 of those brush strokes. I'm now going to take this little scruffy brush that I've made. I've made it dry and I've got a little bit of brown on the end and a tiny bit of white, yellow, I beg your pardon. So there's the brown and the yellow pounced together, and I'm going to put that in here. So I need that little bit of yellow, little bit of brown. I'm going to just take, I didn't load it into my brush, and I'm just going to pounce it in here. Okay, so there it is. And then this next stroke that I'm going to do, again, I'm picking up my white and my plum. We're going to load the brush, so we're loading it here. Is this a better angle for you all to see the brush loading? And then remember the white is to the front, and I'm just going to come round like this and just let that come there. So you can see that lovely stroke. So let me show you that stroke again. So I go like this along, but I'm still working to that central point. And then when I go to the edge that I want, I come up on the edge and I flick it round. So up there and flick it up there. But look at how we're looking into this flower. Right, now I want to show you this bit because this is super exciting. And anybody who's coming to Peterborough this week, I'm going to be painting, and absolutely everything I paint, I will give away. So lots of reasons to come and see us. So I want to paint myself an oval wreath or a crescent, and I need some help with the shape. So I've got this design that I've just painted here. And what I'm going to do for myself is I'm just going to take my pair of scissors, and I am just going to, I've been doing some great work where I've been painting and doing some decoupage, and I'm quite pleased with the results of it. I'm hoping to share that with you properly next month. But I've got that flower, and I'm just going to put it there. So it's giving me an idea of where it's going to sit and the size. So I know I'm going to have a couple more little buds and everything around it. But what that does is it helps me build my, I've just picked up some purple that I don't want. So I'll just get rid of that. What it does is it's going to help me build my wreath because it's giving me my position. So I'm just picking up that chocolate brown and a little bit of this mocha colour, and I'm just going to put my crescent in. So it allows me the chance to follow my oval, knowing where that is going to go. And I'm just literally, so I've got the shape of that first bit of my shape has actually been created. Now I can come into it and I can just add the other little bits that I'm going to want to add in. So I'm just literally putting in a few more flourishy bits. And then you can see how that is going to sit perfectly in that shape. So it really sort of is giving us that lovely crescent shape, which is what we're looking for. So I'm going to take this one out the way, and I've not put the lines in here because I want to keep this fresh and clean, ready for me to be able to do that extra work. Now, the brush colours that I've got here, I'm going to put this lilac, this purple that I've got. Let me just come down a little bit, this one. I'm going to pick a tiny bit of that up where the dark brown was. And what you'll see is it's going to give it like a tint, a hint of that brown, that purple shade. And I'm just going to, we're just going to come round here, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a line. So I'm going to come round there, and I'm going to come round, and I'm just letting that bit feed in. And I'm going to do another one just here. And then I'm going to come around, and this time, look at how I'm just sliding that brush in. So that one goes there, that one comes there, and then we're coming up to this part up here, mixing, making sure I've got that colour again. So I'm going to go round and up and create my leaf. And this time I'm coming round, and look at the angle of my brush, look at how I'm sliding that in. So I need a bit more paint. So I'm here, I've got it, whoops, just get that paint back. So I'm here, I'm sliding it round and just letting that slide in, and then a little bit of a stem. And then we can put in a little flat leaf, a tiny bit more of that purple on the edge of the brush. You'll see it now, there, and then another little leaf that I'm doing, which is this one. So it's just slightly different in shape, just like that. Okay, so it's straight, it's more at an angle than straight, and then that one just there. Right, now we need to fill in this part of the design. So we've got that little bit of background together. So we're going to take off the paint. I'm just wiping it down. So I'm literally wiping my brush down. I'm going into the burgundy, and we're going to be triple loading this brush. So into the plum, I beg your pardon, and the white. And so back into the plum and the white. Let's get those colours really beautifully blended together. And we're going to put in this first stroke, which is just a little scallop. Then we're going to do another one, and this scallop is going to rise up a little bit higher because I want a bit more depth to it. And then this one is going to come round here. So that's the first part of it. Then remember we need our brown and our yellow. So I'm going to go into the brown, into the yellow. So I've got both of those colours. And that's going to go here. Now I'm filling in this little bit. And if you run out of paint on your brush, what will happen is I'm going to pick this wet paint up. So when it comes to the yellow in particular, make sure, use it very, very gently, but make sure you have got plenty of it on your brush. Otherwise, you will end up picking up the plum and you won't get that definition of shade that we've got. So that's the first one. Now I'm going to come back in, and because we're going to put in that other brush stroke. So we start here. So I'm starting at this angle, and I'm coming down to build the flower. And I'm then keeping going. I'm just getting a bit more paint. You can stop at any point if you haven't got enough paint. And then I'm just going to bleed that and slide that into that shape. So let's do another one. But this time we're going to go a bit smaller, and it's going to be facing this way. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to put my first strokes there, so smaller. Then my second one is there, and that's smaller again. And my third one is here. Again, we need that yellow and we need the brown. So I'm working two brushes at once. So the brown first, just there. The yellow, just that little tiny bit at the top. Fresh brush loading with my white and my plum. So make sure you've got those both. It needs to be really good because we're going to go over this wet paint. And I'm coming here, and I'm just literally, and look at what's happening there. It's pulling that paint. So get a little bit more of the white. So I can come, there we go. And I can just bring that over. So see how that now looks like. It's a little bud. Then the next one I do is here. And this one is just two little strokes. And we go in with the brown and then the yellow over the top. And these are such fun to do, these strokes. And then this one comes round here and I go there. So I've got my other little petal and I'm ready to put one here. So we're going to go in this area here. So this one is going to go up like that. And now I'm going to pick up a little bit of the champagne. So I want that champagne, it's creamy, and you'll see how that creaminess just changes the colour at the top of the design. And we're just going to pull this in and bring in another petal. Don't quite like the stripiness that I've got here, so I'm going to just bring that in there, and again up here. I'm going to get that one back in there. Then this is the bit that you have to think through, because this is the one, this center is what angles the flower. So I'm going to put the brown just there, quite high up on this one, and then that little bit of yellow, which is too much. So I'm just going to go up with that. Let's get rid of it, soften it over with the brown. There we go. So I've got a nicer petal shape. Back into my paint, so the plum, and this time remember I'm using the champagne. So I'm here, and I'm just going to come like this. Really need to get that just so that it's beautifully blended, like that, and just come round. So I've created this little cluster of flowers, and we need one more because we never have anything in even numbers. So we'll put one up here. So we'll just go there with that champagne again. So we're softening the colour. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that mauve. So I've got a little bit of the purple on there. And then when I then come on here, look at how it's building in that colour. And we're starting to see the little tint that you've got from this leaf here. We're going to take the brown and the yellow again, but tap that off. I learnt the last time. Had too much on there. And then that little bit of that yellow on the top. And then finally, again, into the yellow where the plum is. Make sure you've got plenty of the champagne on here. I'm just going to, again, get that again because I've picked up some of the brown. And I'm just doing some little wiggles and I'm just going to go round there. So we've got this whole lovely bouquet going on. Now, with the leaves, with the colour on this brush, I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to paint myself some little lilac leaves. And we'll do that once more down here. So we'll put some in here. We'll put, let's put a couple here. So we can see that. I would like to put one up there. I think I need a couple here. So we've got some more of that purple just coming through. So like this, another one off there, maybe even there as well. So we can see that coming round. And then I'm now going to use this brush on the chisel edge. And first of all, we're going to pull the little stems into the leaves. So let's get those all done. And there. And then on the edge and the chisel edge of the brush, I'm just going to take it in and I'm just going to do some like feathered stems. So just letting it just sort of push round and give us that little bit of extra texture in the design. And then here, you can see, I'm just going to go round. And then you can see here, I'm just going to go round again, keeping that chisel edge really sharp, everybody. And then here, and a little bit more just there and here. And just take this round and it down, and a few little strokes just to join this all in, just to make sure that it all sort of sits in that crescent that we've got. and I'm going to go back to my oval and look at how we've created that shape. So I've still kept that semicircle to create my crescent, which is what I was hoping to do. And I'm now going to just show you what it looks like if I put my frame over the top. So you're seeing what we're getting with that beautiful frame. And this is crying out for a stamped sentiment just up here to finish it off. But the other thing that I'd just like to point out is look at the difference between having the champagne on that petal and the pure white. This really pops, whereas this one is much, much softer and a little bit more vintage. So if you've been having problems with compositions, using the template that I've got here, I've been able to help it. But we have put some more templates on YouTube for you to be able to, and they're like a little download. And there's a little link in the description, and they've been in all the previous videos as well. So that will also give you a way to be able to just finish off the design and come up with new ideas. So I'm just going to go into here, and I'm taking up this Sedona, and I'm going into the pure white. So let me just bring this right in so you can see it. So it's almost like a Victorian rose. It's a very soft colour. And what I love is the fact that it's perfect if you want to just put in a few of these little fresh leaves so that they just pop. So you can just see that little bit of colour just coming through, just nice and crisp and clean, just sort of quite sharp, but just giving you that little bit of freshness in the design. And then I'll just put a couple just there. Really, you don't need very many, but they're just giving you that extra little bit of detail. Let's put one just here as well. So that's a new composition for you, showing you a new flower, which is incredibly easy for us to do. And it's given us the chance to create this design. Now, I've had a couple of questions about loading and double loading a round brush. And that's the perfect opportunity, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little round flowers in here. So this is where we're going to use these two shades that we've got, these two lights and darks. Now, there's my round brush. So I'm going to just drag it from the outside edge in like that. So half loaded the brush. And I'm going to go again, and I'm half loading the other side. And although those colours are very close, you can see that I've got the two shades really clearly on that brush. So look at that. That's really, really fabulous. Now for this, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go onto the edge of the brush. I'm going to press down, and I'm just going to pull it up in a stroke like this. Down and pull, down and pull, and down, and pull it right up onto the brush stroke. Let's do that again. So I make sure that I put the same colours on my brush. So I'm going in with each of them, and I'm just going to give myself, let's see where I'm going to go here. I'm going to go down and press up, down and press up. I'm thinking about where the petal starts and where it's going to end. And I'm also just making sure that I bring that brush right up on the chisel edge. And now I'm going to go into the brownie shade that I started with, and the taffy, that soft colour. So I've got two colours on this brush. This time we're going to go down and up, down and up, down and up. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go down and up, down and up, down and up. So I've got those little petals. And finally, one more. So I'm going to turn the brush over because I've used the paint from one side, down and up, down and up, and down and up. And then into, if I come back here, so I'm going to come into this chocolate brown, and I'm just going to dot a couple of, wanted them to be much smaller than that, but that's, there we go, that's the size we're looking for. These really little dainty dots just here, dainty dots in the little elements that we've got. But look at how pretty these elements are. So you can see how pretty that is. So at Peterborough, we're not actually planning a painting workshop, but I am going to be demonstrating on the stand. So I hope you'll come and join me, but I just want to talk about this composition for a moment. So first of all, let's look at the colours. When you look at the palette, it looks really quite interesting. I've got the green in there, which I actually haven't used, and also the red, and I haven't used those either. But the yellow definitely jumps out. But these shades have given me such a soft looking design, but also one that's got a lot of detail in it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to take a very fine brush. And with this, I'm now going to go into these wet centers, and I'm just going to touch the flower, and I'm just going to pull out the tiniest little bit. Whoops, that wasn't tiny. Didn't mean to do that much. A tiny, tiny bit of the colour. So you touch it and you just literally pull it out down the petal. And you've got that little bit of texture just coming down the petals. And you can see it really is the tiniest bit, but just texture, just add in that little bit of detail. So you've got all of that going on, making it look really pretty, but also very subtle colouring, bringing it all together so it just fills the design. And then finally, the last colour that I'm going to work with in this is, and I need a smaller flat brush, so let's see what I've got in my pot. Just trying to save me some time. I'm going to use a little flat one, so let's go with the number 10. And now I'm taking this little browny minky shade that I've got, a little bit of the taffy, bring those two colours together. So I want it soft and sort of very subtle, these warm winter, and we'll just bring those two together. And I'm just looking at anywhere, now it's started to dry, that I just want to put a little bit of an accent where maybe I've already got a petal, but I feel like there's something missing, or I think I should have, and it's how I'm going to correct this flower up here, because I don't like what I did to it. So I'm just going to put a little leaf over it and another one there. And I'm going to go here and there, and maybe just there and there. So I've just finished that off, put those last little bits in, and I'm happy with that. And that would be how I would leave it. So I've got my composition. I've done that lovely crescent, and what a great thing. This would make a great door plaque if you wanted to put a house number in the middle. So that's one of the things that we've done. Now I wanted to share with you some ideas, more ideas on brush loading, but working with lots of colours. So we're going to work with this whole colour palette that I've got here. We're going to see just how many colours we can get on this brush. So we're going to start with the plum and the white, and we're just going to pull those colours together. So plum and white. In fact, I'm going to do this way up again, because I believe you will see the brush loading better. So plum white. Okay, they're the first two shades. The next one that we'll go with is I'm going to put the plum and the white. So I've got those on. I'm going to side load the chocolate and I'm going to side load the orange. Okay, so let's look at what this looks like now. So I'm just going to bring that together. I'm just going to show you what those colours look like here. Okay, really nice. So let's go now back into the white, back into the plum, side load the brown, side load the yellow, side load a tiny bit of red, just get a bit more, and take that purple over the brown. And now watch. So we've got, you can just see that lighter edge of the purple here. You can see that we've gone from the red that's on right on the edge of that brush through the yellow into the plum. Then we've gone brown and then not quite as light as I would have liked it on the edge. So let's go back in. And then I'm going to go, there you can see, there's those colours really rainbowing, looking great. So I'm going to go again. So white, plum, chocolate. Ooh, that was a big chocolate. Red, big bit of red, and yellow. We'll come back for the red in a minute, the white in a minute. Look at that. Now you can see it. You can really see that colour there. And it's the white in between where you're seeing this rainbow. So let's load it, and then I'm just going to load again, everybody. Plums. Am I going too fast for you, Andrew? Oh, he zoomed in. Sorry, everybody. A little bit of the red. I'm going to take some of that purple. And I'm just going to now, we're going to have a look at this, okay? You ready? We'll do it, yeah, it'll show on here. So here we go. So we're just going to look at this. So look at how you can get those colours. And I'm now going to just put that colour in there. So see how we've got that, all those shades coming, and it wouldn't have worked if I'd gone from the plum to the red. That wouldn't have given us the same effect. So now my brush has been used up quite a lot. So I'm going back into the white, back into the plum, back into the chocolate, picking up a little bit of the purple, and I also need a bit of red. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a smooth, because what I'm going to do now is just put that other flower in, that flower head in that we did then. So look at how you're getting all of those colours coming together. And excuse me, it's really interesting because I'm just going to go into my white now, and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of white just in here. So just going to touch that white in. So I'm touching it back until it's lifting some of the white out, but it starts to give us the look of a different little kind of stamen. We go into the brown, and I then touch in the brown. Let's get that in. And then get that little bit of brown at the top. And what a difference that makes. Just that little bit of detail in the centre. So I'm just going to repeat this stroke for you once more with the purple and the white. Let's just get these colours loaded on my brush. So what we did, we go up and round, we get to that shape, and then we slide it, and we take this tail wherever we need it to fill in that gap and get that twisted leaf. You can see that shape that we're creating just there. Okay, right, I'm just going to put this to one side, and I'm going to show you another design that I've got for you. And I want to just share with you doing a Christmas tree. So they're super easy to do. I'm going to do one a reasonable size. So we're just going to get this up here. And I'm going to put, I'm just going to do a little bit of, in fact, let's do it on, where do I do it? No, I'm going to do it on here. I'm going to do a little bit of a Christmas landscape. So first of all, I'm going to keep the purples. I'm going to keep the purples in this story and the white. So I'm going to get a little bit of purple and white, and I'm just going to look at that shape. Okay, so we're going to go with the white on the top, and I'm just going to slide that colour down there. And then I'm going to get this side and I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to slide this one. So let's go purple and white again and slide that across there. Now, going to go with the purple and the white once more. And this time I've turned my brush so the purple is where it's matching. The purple, I've got the white, but this time I've turned this brush over. So you can see how they're laying into each other. I'm just going to get that a little bit smoother. In fact, that needs quite a bit more paint on it. So into my white, into my plum, and come on to here. So on here, and sometimes everybody, what you need to do is you need to go through the whole process. Don't just think, right, oh, I don't like it, it's not working, and stop, because it's only when you do the whole thing that you can see the effect that you're getting. Okay, so I've got that little bit of shadowing. I'm just going to make sure that I've got myself which I have. Just want to check the size of it. So I'm just going to use this for a moment and make sure I'm going far enough. Not quite far enough out because I want to be able to put my oval over the top. So I'm just going to go back and add in a little bit more detail, and this is how I would do it. I'd pick up my white and my plum, as I've been doing, and you've still got little bits of detail on the colour on the brush, and I'm just going to go like that and bring in another layer from the other side. And then this one is going to go under there and out to there. So we've got a sort of a little bit of up and down like that. Okay, I'm okay with the little bits of extra that I've got there where it's missing a bit. Just going to double check that now and see if I'm wide enough, which I think I'm just about there. But just to be on the safe side, let's get here. Andrew's worried that I've lost the plot because this isn't looking very Christmassy. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm picking up two of my purples. So I've got purple and I've got a little bit of that light colour, and I'm just going to pull this together. Now I'm going to put myself my a tree trunk here. So that's my first one. Here is my second one, and here's the third. Okay, so I've got here. So, and I know you're all thinking she's gone mad, she's doing purple trees. You're right, I am. I'm doing purple trees. And what I'm going to do now is I am just literally doing this. So I'm just going and I'm going to be building up this tree. And I'm literally going to put my colours, and it's you've got to bear with this one, guys. You've got to stay with me because this is what we need to be doing. So you can see I'm literally just stroking the tree, I'm putting in the fern leaves. I'm going out to the side here. I'm going out to the side on this one. So just bringing in that extra little bit of detail. I think that tree trunk's going to get lost in this story. A bit more of the white. Let's just get a clean part. And now I'm going into the brown. So I want it darker. And I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to put that little bit of brown in here. Let's come up a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of the brown across here. So we've got a really full tree. Just going to take a little look at how that's coming. So, yeah, I think that's going to work. I'm now going to come in and I'm going to go into the brown and the white, and let's get those colours in. And again, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm just putting in this one and I'm just going to keep going with it and just nice and wide here and go right like this. So I'm going to fill in this little detail of my tree, and you keep going and building up the layers. Don't let your brush, once it starts to open up, which mine's doing, come back and pull that chisel edge together. And now I'm literally, look at the way it's changed, the way that I can get the colour onto this palette. So the brown and the white, just get those two together. And so I'm coming down and I'm letting that white just follow through. So now this one is sitting in front of the one that I've got here. So letting that just come through there, a little bit wider at the bottom, into the middle. So I'm putting in those middle strokes like that. So we've got plenty of our colour. Yeah. And so I've got started with my Christmas trees. So let's look at this. So you can see how it starts to come together. It looks so different, doesn't it, when you do it like this? Then up here, I'm just going to check my spot that I've got. So I need to be there. I'm now coming into this and I'm going to pick this soft purple, and let's go with that that champagne. And I'm going to come down and round and up and down and round and up. And then I'm going to put little tails in that are like this, and they're going to go like that. So I've got the tail in. Now you can see that we've started to put our Christmas bow in. I'm then going to do another little bit of work with the brushes and putting in another loop of our ribbon. So, oops, not sure I like that one, so I'm going to go over it again. Then I'm going to do another one here. So let's go over that one again as well. So a tiny little knot just there. So that finishes it off. I'm going to go just round here and come back in there. So we've got that with the tail and the everything. So I've got it all very lovely and pretty, and the colours are nice and soft. Now my work here is dry. I can see where I need to go, and I need a little bit of white in here to just give me that extra little bit of dimension. And I'm going to do the same on this side and put in an extra little bit there. Then I'm just going to swap brushes, and we're going to go on to a slightly smaller brush. So let's come into this one. So I've got to a number 16, everybody. And I'm going to put in a little bit of the purple and the white. And I'm just going to come down here And I'm just putting in a couple of little tendrils and like this, so a few little bits of tendril. I'm going to take the purple, the brown and that soft white, and we're going to be using these, and we're going to put a pine cone in. So to do our little pine cones, we're going to start here and do a little shape, and then we're going to go here. We need a bit more brown. So over like that, and then like that, and like that. And then I'm going to go again like that, and like that. More of the brown, and then a little bit like there, and here, and then here, and here, and here. And we'll have a little bit more of the brown. And so I'm going to come in there, and in there, and then in there, and in there. So I've got it just sort of tucked inside. I'm going to do another one just here. So I'm going to go round, round, round. So making that little pine cone. Let's just get a little bit more there. Just bringing it together and just getting it so that it all just, it's got those little shapes together. So there's two of them. Let's put another one just here. So we'll sneak this one in here. So 1, 2, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, a little bit more brown, 2, 3, a little bit more, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and we'll go around this outside edge. So we've got that little bit of detail. Then the next thing that I need is I'm just going to use my purple where the brown is, and I'm going to put a little bit here. We're going to do it just here, and we're going to do this. We're going to go up, round, and down like that. And then this one is going to come round and round like that. So we're putting in a little holly leaf. On the other side, we're going to do the same. So I'm going to do the holly leaf for this one just here. So it's going to come up, up, round there. And then this one is going to go up, up, and round. And we'll put a little leaf in there. So I've got both of those in. I'm going to put one more here. So I'm going to go over the top of this one. So I'm going to come round, round, and round. And then this side is going to go round, round, and that's going to come in. And I'm just going to bring that in. And then we're going to go into the red. And we're going to put some berries in. And that's not a big enough brush. So let's change that round. So right into this red paint that I've got here. So right into the depth of it and get some good red. And we'll put 1 berry, 2 berries, 3. Look at that red popping with the colour. 1, 2, that's 3. I need my very small brush to get me a tiny little bit of white. And I'm just going to go here, here, here. And if I was doing this on white card first, I would use some extender and put a tiny tint of white, of lilac in the sky. Because what I want is this to be completely tonal. Then the last little bit of this is you need your scruffy brush. And I think it's really good for us to experiment, everybody, and try new ideas that we probably wouldn't have done. So, you know, would you have painted Christmas in purple? Probably not. Can we get a great result with it? Absolutely we can. So we're now just going to put that little bit of Christmas snow, and it needs to be really soft and powdery, not at all, not blobby or dense. You've got to get it really soft and powdery, like this here. And we're just going to go, come on, in you go. There, just that little bit of powdery snow. And I've got in mind where my borders are. So I'm going to go here with a little bit of it. Look at the difference it makes putting that on. Just that little bit of powdery snow. I'm going to go again, just a little bit of it here. So I've got a little bit there. Let's just soften that in. There. I'm going to take it up here to where the holly is. Just a little bit of it, and on the pine cones. So a tiny little bit into the bottom of the bow there. I'm going to go into the holly just here. So a little bit on the pine cone, just there. Get a little bit up here on the bow, and there. That some of that will disappear when we get into the actual picture. So I've put that little bit of detail in there. And now I want to try one more thing. I'm not sure if I've got the stuff to do it. Yeah, here we go. So I've got an old toothbrush, and I'm just going to get a little bit of an inky paste, and I'm just going to put this on here. Not too much. Just be careful you don't get too much on. And now let's look at this. There we go. Look at that for our little winter Christmassy scene. That's the effect that we're trying to get. And it looks so different, doesn't it? You would have thought that we'd have done this in greens and reds, and but it just looks like I've got a bit missing down here. Got to put that right. Let's get that right here. Let's get a bit more of that in. I need a tiny little bit of red in that brush, otherwise the colours aren't going to go. So I'm just going to lift that off, and I'm just going to put this in this gap here. So I'm just going to come down and take that, and if I just blend that red in a little bit more, there, I think we will get a slightly better result than just leaving it with a gap. So let's see what that looks like. I think that'll allow me, just allows me to pull that frame down a tiny bit more, which is where I wanted it. But there we go. So something completely different for you to try out and play with. But what a lovely way to do our Christmas. And so we've taken our florals and our Christmas scene, and they're both done using the same colour combinations. So it just gives you an idea of how flexible we can be with our colours. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. We are going to be at Peterborough Live from Friday. So Friday and Saturday, there's still tickets available. If you are a member of Robin's Nest or Create and Craft, you get in for free. We've got presenters there. We're going to be broadcasting live. We've got free make and takes. Make and takes are a bit wow this year. And please join us, because it's going to be great fun. It's going to be a busy day. And I'll let you know when the next free class is. If anybody's got any questions, email me, Stephanie@highlightcrafts.com. If anybody's got any questions about anything at all that we could help you with, then please let me know. And in the meantime, until next time, everyone, just be kind. Let's be nice to each other. God bless. Bye-bye.